Welcome back to another episode of Horror Dork. This week we're going to be going over Society from the 1980s, right? 1980s.
Yep.
And it is the movie that teaches us a very important lesson. The wetter you get, the more fun it is. All right, so joining me is Mr. Sir
Hello.
and the Manthony Anthony. I think
Hello.
dipping into my
Hi.
crotch.
Not the only thing that's going to be dipping into your crotch.
This is why you guys tune in to watch me fumble with a microphone.
Not to mention you had
Lobster
like 45
claws.
minutes before the show where it was just sitting like that.
Sitting with lobster claws on.
Could have adjusted it any
He literally doesn't do any setup other than that.
I don't.
That's always
It's
been
my
Mr.
only
Sir.
job, and I messed it up already.
That's all
Doing
right.
So good. And
All right. Did you introduce me and Anthony, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can do it again if you want.
No, we won't make you do that again.
No. All right.
This looks like it's really good at itching, but it's not.
It doesn't look like it's good at itching.
It's a claw.
It's very soft.
Were
Very
you
soft.
born with lobster claws? That's what I need to know.
No, I became rich and I morphed.
Okay.
I didn't become rich.
You joined the freak show. He's
Freak
like,
show.
you heard about the Lobster Boy and you wanted to become Lobster Boy Jr.
I did wear these.
There is one. That guy was a real piece of work.
Yeah.
So was the
He's
original
very
Lobster Boy.
abusive. Oh, no, yeah, the original Lobster Boy is a monster. Like,
Lobster
not
man.
because he looks like
Why don't
a
you,
lobster guy. It's because he's an abusive piece
Yeah.
of crap.
Mr. Sir, do you think
Claws.
you could give us a quick rundown? Actually, let us know your experience like going in, because Golden hadn't seen this before,
Right.
which is rare because he's seen a lot of 80s horror, but
And
This
this
kinda
is
had,
like,
like,
up his alley. big
like goofy release because it showed at Cannes and it wasn't picked up really well. But
and people
foreignly,
were
it did
really
great.
grossed
It did
out
great
by
in
it.
the UK and stuff, and Italy and Spain, but not the United States. But
Right.
you don't mind.
No. I had never. It was a few years ago when I saw this movie. It was when we were originally doing Horror Dork. Way back, it was myself, Anthony, and his girlfriend at the time. And he's like, "Have you ever seen Society?" I just got it on Arrow, the Arrow Blu-ray release, or maybe it was DVD. It was a long time ago. I was like, "No,
it was a disc format,
yes, it was a disc."
laser disc.
And I was like, "No, I never even heard of this movie." He's like, "Oh, you're in for a treat." He puts it on, and dude, I am sucked in. This was like maybe like 2014, maybe like 2013 or 2014, 2015 when I saw it. And man, this movie, I recommend it to literally everybody that is like when they want a horror, they're looking for like something different. Like if you've never seen Society, definitely check that movie out. It's really inventive with the story's crazy, and it just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier until the ending that is just like a fever pitch. I love it.
It was just definitely, and it was funny because like I think when you found out that I'd never seen it, you were
Oh, it was
super
like-
shocked. And once I watched it, I realized why you were so
Yeah.
Because this
Honestly-
is like my type of movie.
When I put Society on like the short list of movies that I wanted to cover, and once I found out that Golden never saw Society, I was like, dude, we gotta watch that one. Like, rush that one, put it towards the top because we gotta watch that one. We gotta watch it.
I thought this was going to be one of those movies that because Golden has seen a lot of 80s movies. I thought this was going to be one of the movies that Golden's like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
Oh,
No, not at all. The thing is, like, I can remember seeing it at like the video rental place, but I think it was just like the name made me think, it's not going to be my kind of movie. It's going to be a boring movie. So I never watched it. And then it's like, they forced me into watching it. So I'm like watching it going, this is just like, this is amazing. Like this has got to something that I should have watched how long ago.
Saying that we forced you into watching
Well,
it,
you put it on the list that forces me to
Well,
watch it.
Yeah, we
Or
held
something named the same thing.
we held a gun to your head, but it wasn't loaded, and you knew that.
Like by putting it on the list, you'll either force me to watch it or force me to watch something with the same name. That's all available.
all
on
right.
streaming.
That's not forcing you to do anything. That's your ignorance.
It was so bad. I was just like, why
And
are
I
you
mean,
making me watch
It's just
this
funny because
garbage?
you've watched so many wrong movies at
I
this
have.
point.
It's
But this was never a problem before until we started doing Horror Dork again.
yeah. Well, it's because I mean, it's
It's
you're
hard
like,
to mess up a movie called like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
it is.
There's not many other things
Like,
called that,
You
but
could say
even
Captain
on-
America, and I could watch like the
Yeah.
1950s.
Even on Dude,
Well,
Have
I'm
You
pretty
seen
sure-
this? He wasn't
Or
really messing it
PHF.
up though.
No, I
Or
wasn't.
PHF, yeah.
Jeff,
those are the other shows.
that we've done.
You brought up the box art, and I think that's something. It is like weirdly, I think that might be a deterrent to people seeing it. Like honestly, because my brother said, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing that box at the video store." Because when I was preparing to do this episode, I told him I was like, "Oh, Society, have you watched that movie?" He's like, "No." I was like, "You gotta watch it. Like, watch it before you listen to our show or whatever." Because I mean, we're gonna spoil the crap out of it, and nothing can prepare you for what's in the movie. I went
It's-
and when Anthony showed it to me, he's like, I went in totally cold.
Yeah, I mean, it totally looks like a boring cover. I mean, not boring, but it just looks like she's taking a mask
don't-
off. And this is around the same time though that Popcorn was out. And
does
Yeah,
look like
it does
Popcorn.
have
Kinda
a
made me
similar.
Scott might be thinking of Popcorn, but I don't think so.
but Popcorn
I'm
was
pretty sure the VHS cover was different though. At least the one in our video.
That's
This is what
That's the one
this is
that
the one
I
I
remember
remember.
That's the one
seeing.
you
That's the
remember?
one that I remember seeing at our local video store that had like a big horror section.
that it didn't like if I would have known, like even if I would have even turned this over and looked at the back and seen
Saw what it was
I
about.
probably would have been all about it. But I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
And it in the 80s and
Rich
90s,
people are garbage. That's the message of
Right.
the movie. Rich people are evil monsters that eat are fucking
Yeah.
disgusting.
which is true, but
I mean, yeah, but this is like to an even further point. They turn into like amorphous like blobs.
in the 80s and 90s, if you wanted someone to watch your movie, you had to go hardcore on that cover because
Yeah.
you were competing with a lot of crazy stuff. Like it was the time of don't judge a book by you had to every movie was judged by
See.
its cover. Like if you didn't have something weird and crazy
This was,
animated on there, then I probably wasn't watching it.
this brings up a
Golden,
point
they
to
didn't
the,
have animated covers back then.
and in the
It didn't move, but you illustrated jerk.
there's those ones
get
that
yelled
had
at
like
again.
I'm sorry.
those holographic covers that
They
you
did,
kinda
oh yeah,
turn.
those ones always.
Yeah,
would get-
yeah.
Okay, but like this was a point
Ooh.
that was brought up by a former co-host of ours on the final Horror Dork episode, when we watched that what was that Stranded or whatever, not Stranded, but
That wasn't the final episode.
but she goes, you can't judge a book by its cover, and I said, yes, you can. That's why they have covers.
Lady Night.
Like
Well,
absolutely.
hold on. The saying is you can't judge a book by the cover. There's a reason why it never progressed and became you can't judge a movie by its cover.
Yeah,
That's
you
the point.
can.
There's a whole entire industry out there.
And I mean, yes, you can judge a book by its cover. That's why you bought the book, is because you thought the cover looked cool. You're like, oh, I hope
That's
the book.
not why you buy a book.
Okay, but that is why they have covers.
you do it to level out your
Yeah, to
dining
get you
room
to
table.
to sell
pick it
you
up.
on it.
To
That's
try to
why
get you
you're
to pick it up and read what it's about. But a movie's
okay.
a little different.
You
though.
just said what I said.
Did I? Because I really don't think that. Yeah, I feel like cover art is an important deal, but I feel like it's different for movies. You know.
I
absolutely.
agree because because there's because with a book it's your imagination. With a movie it's not your imagination. It's there.
It's very
And,
visual.
and because and because I think there's a stronger correlation between if the cover art's bad, the movie's probably bad. You know.
Yeah, I mean, if they couldn't figure that
in a
out,
book,
You know
it's
what?
not the
You know what
same
you should have
case.
put on the cover? The chick getting out of bed with hand feet, and that would have I
That
would
would
have
be
watched
great.
that movie right then.
That would be great on
or
the.
the asshead guy.
That would be
Yeah.
great on the back cover. The asshead was on the back cover.
Yes, he
of the
was. Yeah.
VHS.
I mean, if you
Or the
turned it
guy with
over
the-
and saw that, you're like, all
The
right,
guy with
this
the
is-
lips, when the lips when he was going.
Yeah.
I would have been all about that
Ted
too.
Ferguson. Sorry.
Such such a good like the movie was awesome though. I love
Oh yeah.
Because
I
it
mean,
was just
the
it just kept
special
being
effects are the
crazy.
real star, but the movie itself has a good story. It's
does.
well, it's really well acted.
Great message.
The story is crazy. I mean, the basic plot is this guy Billy. His name's Billy, right?
Yeah.
Billy.
Even if it wasn't, it's Billy. I mean, he looks
Billy.
like a Billy.
It's Billy Warlock.
Yeah, I think the character's name is Billy. Billy is
Only I had IMDb up right now.
he feels out of place in his
It was
his
Bill
own
Whitney.
house and in his place in life in general. And he goes to therapy, his therapist, and so it is established like that he has like some sort of mental illness or something. And it's not really well defined. And he starts seeing things around his house, things that seem weird, but like once he focuses or whatever, it's back to normal instantly. And this happens throughout the movie. But
Secret society.
yes. So and his parents are very cold to him and everything. And
No. Hold on. You are going to wear those lobster hands for the whole show.
I am so sweaty.
I'm just kidding.
I don't want to.
I'm just joking.
It was in the contract. It was in the clause. We just lost all the viewers right there with that one.
Oh, we
his
lost them
claws.
30 seconds in.
It's true.
it was lobster
guys-
claws, but CLAUSE.
You guys think that Billy Warlock is one of those actors that is kind of stereotyped where there's not a whole lot going on upstairs.
Yes. Yeah.
And
You mean the camp counselor?
Yes.
Because, hold on, because he's like the guy that's in 10 seconds of Halloween 2 as Ben Tramer's friend that's looking for him. He's done nothing really except
That's what he is. He's Ben Tramer's fucking dumb friend.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him all night. He's only been in soap operas and stuff, but
That checks out. Even though he's got that cool name like
originally
Billy
the
Warlock.
character's name was Steven, and they would be reading the lines, and he'd be confused. He'd be like, "Who's Steven?"
Oh, I get where you're going.
So they
with.
had to change the
Change
name
to
to his
Billy.
actual name.
That would check out. I
I'm
bet.
just kidding.
Like an
I don't
animal.
know anything about. I don't know anything about
is
Billy
a
Warlock.
merciless. He's
So.
like, how dare you?
He's probably got like an
I'm not
IQ
that
of
dumb.
200. I don't know.
He's a warlock.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
right there in his name.
Does say it right in his
is
name.
that how that works?
Yes,
Yes, that is how it works.
because I'm golden.
Yes, Andy.
Magic is real.
Magic
Don't make
is real,
Mr. Sir
yes,
cast a spell on you.
So it's funny about these clauses. I actually went an entire evening wearing these at a bar / restaurant. This
It
one
would be easier.
Noir
to-
Dark Spirits, in fact.
I think
But
it
you
would.
can't operate your phone with them, right?
No, but that's fine. That kept me off my phone the whole night.
Oh, that's
But I did do a lot of other things. Like one of my drinks had sour gummy worms in it. So when I was done with the drink, I brought it out and then I wanted to eat it. I missed my mouth, but I was able to pull it out of the glass.
That's
And
impressive.
then it lost. I don't know where the
And then when he went back to the Airbnb, he gave himself a
claw job.
clutch. He was like,
Does it
"Ooh,
hurt?
little lobster lady,
Claw
come
job?
here."
Yeah,
No,
when
this
you
is
are
very-
pleasuring
very
yourself,
supple.
how long did that take to get? Do you just have like
It never takes
calluses
long.
all over your?
It never takes long. It doesn't
It
take
takes
long.
longer
I'm a
to
pro.
get started, I think.
just
A man of Golden's advanced age. Just kidding.
no, you got pills for that.
To give yourself a claw job?
Yeah, the special
Oh
pills.
boy.
They're little red pills.
Yeah.
But no, like with these, it was. I told my friend to
Are
find
they
me something-
self-lubricating?
They are. Well, they are when I'm done.
Do they secrete
The
oil?
whole inside is sweat, just sweat. So
It
yes,
just leaks out. through
it does. It just
hole in
pours
the
out through the claw pores. But yeah, like it's because I told my friend to find me something stupid to spend my Amazon gift cards on, and he found these. And the first question in the things, someone said, "Can you hold a beer with them?" And the answer right away was yes! Exclamation point. So I'm like, well, I'm sold.
That was
So-
like, oh, the one cue that I had has been aid.
So then like we're at this gothic themed bar restaurant that I'm wearing on my shirt, which they didn't sponsor this, but if you do want to sponsor us, I'll wear your shirt on the show, and just as long as it has no sleeves. I need no sleeves. No damn arm prisons. So
Stop for a
so
second.
then like people just kept coming over and just talking to me. They're like, "Oh, what's going on with that?" And I'm like, "I just wanted to wear them.
I was born this way.
I was born. How dare you?" If it wasn't for the fact that I'm deathly allergic to shellfish, I would have ordered like lobster or something. And then when they brought it out, went, "No,
Good bit.
my son."
I
Something
mean,
like that.
It's like sort of an expensive bit too.
But I mean,
how do you
I
know?
would have been eating the lobster
Besides
Fair.
taking
and cried butter the whole time.
Besides taking the doctor's word for it, have you really tested that hypothesis?
that I'm
That
allergic
you're
to
definitely
lobster?
allergic
Yeah,
to
this
shellfish?
what the doctor told me after I found out the hard way. So yes,
He's lying.
I'm like, why is my tongue so itchy? Your tongue shouldn't be itchy, right? And then it just swelled up, and like.
Oh,
My parents, instead of like getting me tested, allergy tested, they just assumed like because it happened more with crab meat, they assumed it was the Old Bay seasoning, so they kept me away from Old Bay seasoning. And then I still wouldn't.
That's
eat, like,
the thing that
crab meat.
more people are allergic to, right? Is like salt and
Yeah.
pepper.
Exactly.
Not
Maryland ketchup.
seafood.
it's not very common that people
Seafood's
are
not a common
I
allergy.
think what it was
Seafood,
is my
nuts,
parents really
anything like
love
that.
seafood, and I think more than they love me. So they're like, just don't eat any more
I
Old
wasn't
Bay.
gonna say.
We're still gonna get crab and lobster meat.
We love you, Golden. So
Yes.
just
Like,
know
just
that.
eat it. Just eat it and cry while you still can before your tongue
I
swells.
won't be grinding up lobster shells and putting them in your coffee.
Listen, I
You know,
love
like,
shrimp,
Just kidding.
but I'd be willing to give that up for our friendship.
I love shrimp too, which sucks because I didn't want to give it up either. And then the doctor
So,
yelled at me. So
what else would happen? Would your like in the movie Hitch? Would your eyelids
no,
like
none of
swell up
that.
and
It was
stuff?
always like my tongue, but apparently, if that swells enough, you just don't breathe. And
Yeah,
breathing's
that's
important,
fair.
is what they're saying. So I used to just like down Benadryl, and then eat crab meat, and then go to sleep for like a day.
And that worked.
It did, but then the doctor's like, "You do know you can build a tolerance to Benadryl, and the only way you're gonna find out is when it doesn't work." And then I'm like, so I would always joke and be like, "Well, I'll still eat crab meat. I'll just keep like a Bic pen nearby because then I can give myself a trach. I've seen it in the movie."
How much do you think your tongue would swell if you got shunted?
How dare you? Bring that.
Well, I bring that up because shunting is
He's like, let's bring us back into the movie.
it's a performance
Let's bring it back into the
Performance,
movie where they
where the
Shove their
actor
hand.
becomes a hand puppet
oh, it happened. The best part is
Very
it didn't even
cool
happen just
looking.
once in the movie.
twice.
It happened twice. Like they had to. They're like, let's come back to that again. And I was happy they did. I won't lie. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, they're doing
It's
it
within
again.
like a 5 minute.
Because I like it. I like it. The whole. It was like that really cool showdown between them. Like, who's
Yeah.
got the. It was cool. It was like it looked like both of them though should have been the bad guys in like any '80s movie because they both look like the douches
Right.
that you would have to like race down the mountain to see who got to keep the community center.
The K-12
Yeah, always. It's
or whatever
Black
it is
Diamond!
from Better Off Dead.
Is that the one that you're
K-15
choosing?
maybe. I don't know.
Like there's ski school. There's all those movies.
Gotta save the rec center.
Always had to say Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That is the plot of both of those
That's
movies.
the plot of like most of the '80s movies.
What
Was
did you say?
Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo?
I don't think I've seen those.
You're lying. You're
What?
absolutely lying.
First, I thought you said bacon, which I know I misheard.
Bacon.
All
It's
right.
Kevin Bacon.
Wait a second.
He was also
You
in a lot of
think
80s
that
movies.
Anthony hasn't seen those. I believe that 100%
He hasn't
completely.
seen Breakin' and Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Have you
He
seen
saw-
his moves? Have you seen his sweet moves? He had to learn from somewhere. It wasn't from You Got Served.
It was from Turbo.
You Got Served.
Turbo doing the thing with the
I
broom.
did see you got served.
You know what? Actually, I stand corrected. Anthony learned his sweet dance moves from Teen Witch. When it was
Napoleon Dynamite.
top that. Top that. I don't give a damn about trying to top that, so top that.
Nobody has said my dance moves are sweet until now, so thank you.
You probably should watch Teen Witch and see exactly what I'm talking about.
The
The,
Sabrina show on
no,
Netflix.
no, the one,
It's an
the one with
80s
the
movie.
it has the creepy
know what
lady
it
from
is, yeah.
Poltergeist
Oh, all right.
as
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
older witch. God, I love that movie. It's so bad. Plus, Geez Louise. I think I'm pretty sure that saying Geez Louise came from Teen Witch because she said there's a character named Louise. She goes, "Geez Louise, what'd you do? Push
It's
her?"
way older than
No, it's
that.
not. It's right. I will. It's,
It's
from
where
that
that's probably
moment.
where it originated.
He's gonna
Louise,
die on
as
that
he-
hill.
as he
I would
had-
just drop it.
Made up, just a made up fact
Listen-
right
listen,
there.
movie
I
snob.
think that's what it was.
Just because it wasn't a foreign movie. That's why
What?
that's why
Oh,
you don't
yeah,
think
I'm
that
not
could
gonna
come
Wait
up
a
with it.
second.
Let's
Wait
go
a
to all the
second.
hills. I'll
Wait a
die on all of
second. Wait a second. Okay.
But
Anyways,
Teen
back-
Witch is foreign. Okay, anyways,
Like, back
keep
to
going.
society.
I don't
Sorry.
even think I got to the family because we like.
It don't matter. Let's talk about the stuff we liked.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
'Cause I think we'll cover it.
I mean, like the one of the most shocking things in this movie, like, comes pretty early when you're on the beach with Billy, and he gets accosted by his sister's ex-boyfriend, and he plays a tape for him,
Ugh.
and the tape is that he secretly recorded that them there was a in her earring was a microphone.
he had like a
He's an
little
electrical
micro
genius.
earring
and
in her.
what he
her
taped
microphone.
was her making
Her coming out party,
her coming out party, which was
which is a
her.
rich thing, I guess.
I guess so.
What?
I'm not rich, so I have no idea.
Coming out party.
Well, yeah, it's like a quinceanera.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, high
got you.
society, especially I think it's more in the South. They do that coming out party,
right.
which is
They have like those antebellum.
the origins are,
parties
like,
and stuff,
really-
which are like
Probably.
the origins
messed up.
aren't good because it's basically like saying that
Yeah, yeah.
like this child's now ready to be
Yeah.
wooed and married.
Yeah.
At like 16, I think. I mean, I'm also making a lot of this up. I could be wrong. I mean, but I'm not going to admit that I am. So just go with it.
So it's
She's
just like
Louise.
a sweet 16 for rich people.
Yeah, but I don't think she's 16. She seems like she's the oldest.
But yeah, it's basically like it's where they get presented to society as like now this is someone
right.
ready to be wed off.
But
So
in
place
this,
your bets and
in the audio, they're talking about how she's gonna be banging the
start
rival guy to Billy.
start with someone your own age.
Yeah.
And
And then it goes to
bang
mom.
your heart's content. Fuck
to-
it all.
Yeah, her
Then-
mom,
Well, actually, it started
then
off
dad.
with
and
Wait,
then the
so
judge.
like it basically started off with like her being like happy that she could have sex with anyone, male or
Right.
female. Then they're like, well, yeah, but start with your own age because don't make it weird.
yeah.
Don't start with the old guy. It'd make it weird.
And that's like that's a big like commentary on like how the rich are like, you know, inbred and everything, like the how they marry into their own families and everything, or and literally like in like with like the monarchy and stuff.
Right.
There's a lot,
You gotta-
there's incest
you
and
gotta
everything.
keep the money in the family.
Right. And you find out that these people are like literally like another species. Like they're not, it's not just a class thing. It's like a literally like an evolutionary thing as well. But that from right there, I was like, this movie just is not going to pull any punches. Like it sets you up to like this movie, like incest is like a big,
What?
this
I wanna know.
it's a big plot point of this movie. It's incest and like between like the family and you're not sure if it's real or not because you're watching, you know that this movie's gonna get messed up.
I feel like
but-
they didn't try to lean into the thing of going, well, maybe he's
no,
crazy.
but they
That's a
do
good
they,
point.
They were like,
they do it enough to where you can't. He's being messed with, and you're not sure how or why.
when she's washing her own ass like this.
Yes, backwards.
Oh,
Her body's
yeah.
His sister.
his sister. He
stepsister,
walks in
which,
on her doing it,
you know,
but you don't know it at the time.
but she never got stuck in a washing machine, so it's okay.
He's like looking out of the corner of his eye, and that would be weird. Be like,
But then
It's also weird
he
to walk
opens up
into your sister's bathroom while she's
close.
showering to get
they're a close family.
they're
sunscreen.
very close.
To get sunscreen, like going, oh, I know she's showering, but I really need this sunscreen.
You could say they're almost one person.
Plus, let's be honest.
Sometimes.
I guarantee you, Billy Warlock didn't care about skin cancer in the '80s. He didn't need sunscreen. That was just to get him.
He's
in
going to the
bathroom.
beach.
He did. He also
going to the beach.
wouldn't care about sunscreen.
Not in New
He's gotta
York,
get
but I
that
bet in California it was a
Brown.
big thing.
He's got to get that brown
Wherever
George
the heck they
Hamilton
are.
look. Like,
Yeah, they're in
Kelly.
what's it, Beverly Hills, right?
sure.
One thing that sort of doesn't work in the movie for me because it happens because it has to happen so fast and everything.
The hot
Is
girl's mom.
the hot girl being like really into Billy and wanting to help him.
And not to eat him in the bad way.
Yeah.
I was gonna say her mom.
She didn't really have that vibe. Like it felt like she was messing with him the whole time.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
I mean, sure, but it didn't feel earned at
You're
the
not
end.
gonna get an explanation. Most of the stuff
When
that
she's
happens
like,
in this
I
movie
love him or
isn't-
whatever. I was like,
isn't
what?
earned.
Do you?
when she's just morphing during their sex and she's just acting like, well, how do you
Oh, yeah,
not
when
know that?
Maybe
she's
she
like-
just likes the fact that he doesn't ingest people into
She
his
likes
body.
the Jeep.
I mean, that's true as well. But she also maybe she doesn't know that he isn't one of the things at first.
Do you know what
Maybe.
really what I felt was just like
When she
was just and it's such a little thing, but the stuff that was going on with his friend messing with him, where he's just like, no, it was just me messing. It's like I was like, I felt like that was just lame.
Yeah, They
Yeah,
Like,
but
it
then,
was
but then
it
he
was-
goes.
like, how would-
then I followed you, and then and I
But,
saw what happened.
like-
and no, you're not making this up.
But like, like even like the blow up doll thing where he's like, oh, why would you throw a blow up doll in here? I was just
Oh,
like, you're
the
getting
overreaction.
really- yeah, like,
Well, at
no,
this,
this is a doll head.
no. See,
Like,
what
he
I'm
got
going
way
to,
overreacting.
what I'm
called
gonna,
him a screwhead.
what I'm going to, well, Billy's reaction is also at that point he saw somebody be killed. They messed with him. He's up on stage saying that this guy's dead, and then he literally walks out on stage laughing, and everybody's fucking laughing at him. So like he's insane already, and he's like at his breaking point, and then his friend goes, "Oh, by the way, I was the one that was messing with you." And he's like, "I'm gonna kill
This
you."
is like the biggest. This is the biggest case of gaslighting, both intentionally and incidentally.
I see our buddy Cody is commenting. Hi, Cody.
Hi, Cody. So also though the
And my lovely girlfriend Marianne. Hello.
hi, she probably like Anthony. Stop being so mean to Golden. So
did. She told me I was being mean to you.
Lost my.
Now I
train of
have to
thought.
be
Oh,
meaner.
what about like so though too like the kid that that Billy thought died in the with his neck.
Yeah.
Like I felt it was really weird that they made him so dorky. Like when the whole point of this is supposed to be they're the elite, and then he's just like, look at my dorky kid brother that's still so cool. Like I don't know. I mean, to me, I was just like with the
I
glasses.
don't think they didn't think he was cool. They just he felt like he was like because of high society, he's like the smart one, so he's gonna be like a high get like a good job or whatever. And the bully kid or what I can't remember his name.
Ed Ferguson.
Ted.
Was it
Yeah.
Ted
He
Ferguson.
was.
I
being
should know.
primed
They
to
said his
be
name like 100 times.
Kept
Are
thinking
you going to
Turd
Ted Ferguson's
in the movie.
party?
They said
I
like
can't go to Ted Ferguson's party. Oh, look, it's Ted Ferguson.
that's why I remember Billy because they say Billy 800 times in the movie.
Billy.
He
my
the
God.
Ted Ferguson was being primed to be like in have a role in government.
Jesus.
Where he was
The-
pulled inside out.
The one actor's
Ass
name
first.
is Conan. Conan. But it was funny is Conan
Yunza,
played
so
Jason,
he's
and then
he's Brian Yunza's son.
what's funny is Conan played Jason, but then Jason played Jason's friend. So it's like that was confusing. I bet for him, Jason. What? No, not you. You're Jason's friend. You dumb son of a bitch.
what was his son? I don't think
And all
he-
these people are
yelling
Ferguson's gang. All these are just Ferguson's gang. That's
I
all
want
that
to
matters.
bring up one thing that I liked about the movie, and a big part of that is the effects from Screaming Mad George. He was a Golden. Golden was thinking he recognized the effects from a movie, and I think he said Golden said the Twilight Zone movie, the
Witch.
Joe Dante's segment, which is like a Tex Avery cartoon. Brian Yunza, his first movie that he did work on was Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love
He also did Dream Warriors. He also did Part 4,
You said Brian Yuzna.
Screaming Mad George. I was talking about Screaming Mad George.
I'm
He
just
did
letting
the
you know.
effects of. He did the effect. His first effects movie was Big Trouble in Little China.
Which now makes sense because like that the very unnecessary crazy scene in Big Trouble in Little China where one of the three storms just like slowly, very slowly, it takes like
Yeah,
20 minutes in the movie to blow up.
yeah,
That really does. That's on point. Then that
yeah.
makes sense.
He does like you'd know him from like Freaked as well. He did effects on that.
Like, I'm just bad with names, but I'm definitely a fan.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
Really.
What you'll see,
Everything you list,
it's
I'm like,
always
"Oh, I
a
like
treat
that."
when you're watching like an older, like late '80s, early '90s, like horror movie. He did a lot of like. He's a reason why a lot of those straight to video horror movies work. I believe he did the effects in Return of the Living Dead 3, which is the only sort of good one. That one has good effects.
Is that the
in
one where she's got like
So-
she keeps like
yes,
piercing her
where,
butthole
where
on
his
that one?
he's got the
So,
girlfriend that's
He worked a
turning
lot
into
with
zombie.
Brian Yuzna.
Yes,
And Brian Yuzna started out, he produced Reanimator, but he went on to direct Return of the Living Dead 3. So that would make sense.
Yeah,
that-
and Return, and he also did Bride of Reanimator,
yeah, Beyond
and
Reanimator, because
the
that's
other-
what he was able to pitch.
Yeah,
the
and
series.
Screaming Mad George did the effects on those movies too. Which and those movies, they're the movies themselves or whatever, but the effects in those movies are really good, especially for the kind of budget movie they are.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like they hold up.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, nobody's thinking that's really happening. Kind of
No,
thing,
but they look incredible. There's
look
nothing
right.
that you can do. Like being on a set with that stuff is way different than looking at a tennis ball or a guy in a green suit with the ping pong balls or whatever.
Oh,
Or literally nothing at all.
Well,
plus, like when you use cutting edge, like it's only a matter of time before the cutting edge isn't anymore. Like the beginning of Event Horizon is like a really good show of that. That took like how much money to make that look, and it looks so hokey now because
The
it
thing
just
is, like,
sucks.
you got when you use the CGI, you can't just use CGI. You have to merge it with practical stuff that can look really good, like the new Evil, like not the new Evil Dead. I haven't seen that one yet, but the Evil Dead remake is a good example of that. That movie has practical effects, and they just enhanced it with CGI to like.
you know what a really good example is? Jurassic Park.
Yes, that is like
Yeah.
that's the ultimate example of that. Everybody's like, oh,
Oh, they
they
use
made
real
CGI
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs. Like literally like 80% of that movie is practical effects.
Which they had to fight to
Yes,
keep
and it's all it is. The CGI is very minimal. Like there is obviously the stuff in there, but they tried to do as much practical as possible. Stan Winston's a genius. Like he's the and yeah, the people just took the wrong lesson from that. They just like, oh, CGI, we can make anything real now. They made dinosaurs real. We can do anything. It's like, man, that's
Because
why.
I think when you think about it, the thing is CGI seems like an easier process in the sense that you don't have to shoot everything in camera right away. You can do the
Right.
fix it in post thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I
fix it in
think
post.
It's man.
I mean, our CGI, CGI in our movies is top notch. It's amazing.
Birdemic.
It's pretty much right up there with like that. Yeah. I mean, we're getting better, but
Yeah,
yeah, we
I'm-
definitely. I definitely
I'm just
prefer the.
messing
Oh
with
no,
you.
no! Believe me, there are some things that are there's some things that we watch and I'm just like. I remember going.
Mars
"Oh, can we
Attacks
just
is
fix that
another
in
one
post?"
that's like makes
yeah, but
really
some
good
of that
use of the CGI.
CGI is dated.
I don't know, man. Have you watched that recently?
Watched it a year ago.
The scene when they're just
Some of it's
in the
still really
spaceship.
good,
The
but
scene where it's just in the spaceship, that's fully CGI, and that stuff looks incredible still. And it's just because they're not trying to make it look realistic. It's not like that's the problem with like some of that CGI from that period. They're trying to like make something that looks real, and it just looks like a screensaver. Mortal
like,
Kombat Annihilation
yeah,
has the absolute most dog.
I would love to
crap.
compare the budget from the Tim Burton movie to Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Honestly, I don't know how well Mars Attacks had a famously huge budget because it also has Jack Nicholson in it. It
And
has
two roles.
It had so
and
many
two roles. He wanted to do more. He wanted to do like 5 roles. Jack, Egg, what? This is I was listening to the Blank Check episode on this recently because I watched the movie and I've been going through old Blank Checks, and a story from that is Jack Nicholson read the script and he goes, "I want to play them all." He wanted to be everybody.
Eddie Murphy was doing it. Why can't he?
I want to play everybody. So they settled on, and Danny DeVito's above the title in the credits. His character's name is Rude Gambler. His character doesn't even have like a proper name in the credits.
Rude Gambler.
The movie rips. It's so good. Anyways, another movie that rips is Society.
It does.
And they make specifically like clear that they're not alien. They're human beings that are just like
I don't even know if
different.
yeah.
I like it's hard
It's
to
almost like they evolved from slugs.
yeah, or they're just so they were interbreeding so much that they just turned to mush literally. And they can just like reform themselves into anything. It's suggested and they can literally morph themselves into anything because the one guy turns his head into a big hand to flick the guy. He turns his whole hand turns like that, and his hand stretches out to flip him in the.
I actually have a little interesting tidbit about this movie. So when Brian Yuzna started out one of the things that had really inspired him was Dr. X. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but the part where there's like pulling off all the skin and stuff.
Okay.
It gave Brian Yuzna nightmares. So he was working with Dan O'Bannon on a movie called The Men, and it was an idea that Dan O'Bannon had about this secret society, but it's not even a secret society, but it was like a very, in Brian Yuzna's words, it was a very paranoid movie. And in it, the idea is that women don't realize this, but all men are secretly aliens. Eventually, it took him a while to get the funding and stuff, and Dan O'Bannon ended up dropping off. And he came across the script for Society, and he always loved that idea of a paranoid movie, and that's kind of how he's able to rewrite the script and add in like the Dr. X type dreams he was having. Well, the dreams based off of Dr. X that he was having,
Right.
with like skin and people melding together. And he hadn't really seen a lot of that stuff in like 80s horror at that time. And this is the end of the 80s, 1989. So then that's how this came about. And he was in love with a lot of Screaming Mad George's special effects work, which, I mean, who isn't? Even if you're a horror fan now, you still.
Oh yeah. Like there's not a lot of like effects people like that I know the name of. Like I know the Chiodo brothers. I know Screaming Mad George and like Stan Winston and Rob Baker.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
Rick
I
Baker.
was like, I hope you know the name.
You
Tom
mixed
Savini.
Rick Baker and Rob Bottin together.
That is
Same.
I
guy.
get
But it's
I mean-
funny because Rob Bottin was like Rick
Yes.
Baker's protege.
He's the guy that did The Thing, and that's
And
why I
Howard.
know him. Yeah, he was a big John Carpenter guy. But yeah, like those guys are like rock stars in the horror community. Like those guys, like you'll watch a movie knowing that they did effects work, like you'd watch a movie, like most people watch a movie knowing who the director is or if an actor is in a movie. Horror guys will watch a movie based on like, oh, Screaming Mad George, the effect. At least that will be good in it, you know?
So another funny tidbit taken from the same special feature from the Arrow video for Society that I got, where Brian Yuzna was talking about that. He
Right.
said it was basically like in the 80s, the guys that were making special effects had two choices in life. They could either be a special effects artist or they could be like a heavy metal musician.
Yeah, Tom Savini chose
Guar.
both. Honestly, a lot of those guys chose both. Screaming Mad George is a crazy guy as well.
But who also does heavy metal
Yeah.
or industrial or whatever.
And it all came together with Guar, right? Just like
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, like those guys were like they made all those costumes and stuff. I think they were. I watched the Guar documentary, and I believe they were like not like special effects guys, but they were like they made like costumes and stuff, and they were like interested in all that kind of crap.
Not all the special effects work in this movie though.
What didn't work?
The
Oh.
doctor with the face that
That
clearly is not.
Looked
They had no time to
very
finish.
strange.
Yeah, I just
That was
didn't have
okay.
time to blend the
I
makeup or
will.
something.
I will concede that
It was a
looked-
cool thought, like his lips are pulling apart or whatever. But
Or when the guy poked him in the funeral and his finger goes in the cheek. That was
Yeah.
kind of strange.
because it was liquid, you could see the liquid latex.
Yeah.
It just wrinkled. It must have been an eggshell, I'm guessing. You think, Golden?
wow.
Because you do a lot of special effects.
I tried to do that. Like, I
Well,
know
they
There you
just
go.
got a big-
Golden. Look at this guy, head to toe, either heavy metal
what
or special effects.
I love it. Like so many people when they meet me and all this stuff, they're like, "Oh, what kind of bike you ride?"
Oh, you're good.
Like it's always like, "Oh, what kind of bike you ride?" I'm like, "I
A Huffy.
Huffy, yes." Like, I'm not a motorcycle.
I got a big wheel.
Like I used to have a motorcycle, but I'm not like I'm not like a hardcore motorcycle guy. And then what's funny is because of where I work now, and my one team that I'm on, it's called The Machine. So the one like light jacket that we've got on the arm is a engine. So like that just adds into it. Now like
Yep.
everybody's just shocked when they're like, "Oh, what you ride?" I'm like, I don't have a motorcycle. They're like, "Well, but look at you."
He also has a battle vest as well. So, and it also makes him look like a big biker guy.
Oh yeah, like I'm not offended by like when they I can
Wears a
see where they're
He
coming.
wears a
with.
bandana. He's got the Oakleys.
Got a Sons of Anarchy tattoo on his back. Giant.
It's the one area of me. It's one of the few areas of me that's not tattooed yet, because I'm just still waiting.
One of the
I've got
few
my
areas. Huh?
I have my plans already for what I want from my back piece, but I got to wait until, because my problem is that I don't like to wait
Your favorite movie,
multiple scenes.
Jeepers Creepers, big
Stop.
creeper standing on the car.
Stop. No, my plan is, and I've been talking about my tattoo artist about it, so it's going to be like a like someone almost looking into like a work shed area. Then it's just gonna be nothing but a bunch of horror references, like little things, and it's gonna be like you're gonna see the back of Tucker and Dale, like looking into it. And then,
Oh,
but then it's gonna be like, so like I
Tucker
had this
Carlson.
list. Just yeah. Oh,
Are you gonna put Waldo in there somewhere?
right. But like I already had
His
this list of
severed
like
head.
all these movies that I want like a small reference to in there, so it should be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be like, but there will be.
Are you
no
gonna
fucking
put
Jeepers
a reference to Society in there?
Now I'll have to.
Yeah, the ass face guy.
So where did?
Yes.
So how far? Like, because you got to have like top favorites. Did this break the list?
This is absolute, like this really, because this feels like my childhood, and I don't mean because in my childhood a lot of people were more.
He grew up
a lot of
rich guys.
incest.
Yes. All the incest and
and-
stuff. I
and-
mean,
and
like
Bruce Slugs.
these are the movies. Like it's
Daddy
like
sister
but
showering.
yeah.
it's so crazy that I never saw this movie, because this was like the exact kind
Yeah.
of movies that I lived for back then. Like that was,
It was
I would have like
it was a revelation when I saw it, when Anthony showed it to me, and I was like, I can't believe this. I've never seen this movie
Yeah.
before.
I was watching just going.
I can't believe I never even heard of
Because
this
it was
movie.
like this and Night of the Creeps. I got to show you.
Yes.
I love
I kinda
Night of the Creeps.
Night of the
understood-
Creeps was another one that I
love
never
that.
saw.
And I kind of understood Society, but I was so shocked that you'd never seen Night of the Creeps, because that's like your movie,
Right.
You know?
And like,
Night of the Creeps is
that
so-
movie rips. That movie is so good. Tom Atkins in that movie.
Yeah.
What
That's
does
the
he
one
say?
right with
Like,
that's the one
Good
with
news,
slugs,
your
right?
dates are here. Bad news, they're dead.
That's the one with
There's-
slugs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like
And there was
the kid with the crutches.
yeah.
There was
Really
a line in this
depressing
movie that
recording.
what did she say?
These
What do you want? How would you like in your coffee? Cream, milk, or would you like me to pee in it? I was like, I heard that, right? I rewound it. I was like, yep, that is what she said. It's very just comes out of the blue. It's after a hot chick says it to him, who's also like a society member of that race, after they have gross sex. She
And her mom
turns
just eats
body.
hair.
Yeah, her mom, who's also sort of a malevolent society member, she doesn't partake. I think is because she's been like, seems like she's like been lobotomized or something.
There's no explanation, like much of the stuff in this.
Yeah, I mean,
I kept waiting.
I'm
for
not
it.
a guy that
It was like,
needs
oh,
stuff
okay.
explained.
Yeah, but some stuff you have to.
That stuff is, but it's like, it's not like it's unexplained. It's inexplicable, and
Yeah,
it
well,
needs
that's
to
the thing.
be
You can't draw. There's nothing there. There's no meat to draw conclusions.
right, because it's never even like hinted at it, like what happens, like why she's like that. Just as like an
'Cause she
easy.
turns tricks, right? The one kid said that.
Oh, she does, doesn't she?
Remember the one kid was like,
Yeah, but
like her mom. You just turn tricks like your mom, and they're like,
No.
why would you say? He's like, yeah. He's like, come on, look at her.
you're right. But it's a little off because he's like, oh, because she
think that-
turns tricks, and he's like, have you seen her mother?
Oh, that's true. I think it was more like making fun of your mom kind of thing, not an actual.
I think he was
experience.
just saying that she was easy.
I mean, she
Considered
kinda
easy.
was.
I mean, I
mean,
think
then again, all of
anybody
them were.
you could trick her into banging you for a hot dog. You could just say it's a hot dog. You're like, slurp this bad boy down.
Please don't try that.
Turn me inside out.
No,
Yeah, turn me
That was
inside
an-
out, and then stick the hot dog in.
So that scene was so I remember seeing it for the first
like
time.
a ton of
the
worms in
shunting.
him.
Yeah.
see
Well, because
that?
they were eating worms. They eat worms. They were picking all those caterpillars out of the garden.
Slugs, yeah.
Yeah. And you thought that they were just like pulling them off, to keep them away from the garden. But no, they were picking them off so they could eat them later at the
Some good crops
party.
you grew there.
Yeah, they're growing the worms. They're harvesting the worms. The shunting scene. I remember seeing
Which
that
one?
for the first time. The main one, the big scene, like when it first happens, when they bring
not
out
not the battle.
No, when they bring out the boy, the boyfriend,
electronics genius.
yeah, and they just they just start stretching him out. It's literally what they're doing. They're like expressing like all this ooze on him, and it's just kind of like
It's morphing him, yeah, because
making
they have
his
this ability
skin
to
and
metamorphose.
like his insides like palatable. Like it's painful too for him, and it's like done in like this orgiastic way.
Then they make him a Muppet.
And then the
Right
judge
in
gets
him.
the beauty mark.
Yeah, and he like absorbs them or whatever they do to him.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's very unclear
got a
like
beauty
exactly
mark.
what happens, but like when that happens,
The reason why it works though, and all this unexplained stuff, is because the movie set up like a fever dream. It's just so surreal.
yeah, like you're not sure like because it's led on like I said earlier, like the narrator's unreliable. You think because he's probably been seeing this crap all of his life, and when they slip up or whatever, or they're doing it on purpose to mess with him
That's another
because they're
thing that's
sadistic.
unexplained.
Yeah.
Is why he's seeing worms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how much is gaslighting and how much is him crazy? You don't know.
Yeah, because because that is like totally unexplained.
Unless they have powers like because the doctor's one of the society as well can make him see stuff. I don't know.
I mean, maybe they hypnotized them during one of the sessions.
Yeah, and there's
And
also
then they made it seem like could be. Yeah, could be Golden. That's a good point.
and there's a lot of like things in the dialogue that come back later that are
Well,
really
look at-
clever.
Look at the kid he's running against for student council president. I can't remember his name. Eugene.
Nerd.
He looks like Eugene,
Yeah.
little nerdling guy.
But it makes it seem like he's murdered and brought back to life or something, or they are turning them into members of the society.
Is it
Yeah,
That's not
Milo?
the case.
That
Milo?
isn't the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Milo. Yeah.
It's hard to tell when you look at IMDb because all these people grew
Looks
up.
like
and,
looks
like,
like
none of them
Golden
look
did
like
in high
that.
school
I wish I looked that good.
with those circle glasses.
at that part where Milo
He was in Twilight Zone the movie.
Oh, okay.
He played the young version of one of the old people.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
At least that's what I'm guessing because his character's name was Young Mr. Something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Gosh, just thinking, completely random and off topic, but like how Golden has
It's
stayed
on
alive
par.
for 65 million years. Is that like Cocoon real? Like, are you gonna go into a cocoon?
I just
Come
kicked
out
the
younger?
can.
He is Wilford
I
Brimley.
play kick the can all the time.
What I was saying about the dialogue coming back and like being like clever and like when the cop picks up or when they bring the cops to where he thinks Milo has been where he found his body. The car's different. Everything's different, and the cop is about to arrest him, and he says, "Next time," and he's I don't remember why they let him go, but he's like, "The next time you see me, it's not going to be pretty." And the cop is obviously a member of the society, so when he sees him, it isn't pretty.
You're getting those really creepy vibes from the other officer. She's like, "Are you gonna frisk me too?"
Yeah,
And he
he's
starts
like
breathing heavy.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to molest her. It's really kind of creepy.
He's just like got his hands at his side, but he's got his hands to his side, but he's right up, like touching
Yeah,
her with
like-
his belly.
Yeah, it's like they're like nose to nose, basically.
Milo's been in so much stuff. Sorry.
He looked really familiar.
He went to college.
He played the voice of Bill S. Preston in the animated Bill and Ted's Excellent
I knew
Adventures.
you'd get that one.
All right. Well, do you guys recommend this? I think so.
Absolutely.
100%.
Oh yeah, it's a complete recommend. Yeah, we're not doing stars anymore. We're just gonna do recommend.
Yeah, because some people don't know how to play by the rules.
4.23 stars.
That's not why.
Trying to stop me from doing the
No,
stars. I'll do
I
them
just think
anyway.
I personally, I don't know. I think
Us,
it sounds better.
I didn't even want to do it to begin with. It's just something we used to do, so I think Mr. Sir brought it up.
I think I just
Yeah,
like, I always
first
like
episode.
doing it just because I like coming with a random number to upset Anthony.
Yeah, just to upset me. Yeah.
But no, this is a high recommend. Like definitely watch this movie.
Yeah.
That's why it's only one thumbs up, because if it was two, Golden would be like, oh, like 1.25
I
thumbs.
would absolutely do that.
I know you would.
I think my favorite time about that was like back when we were first doing them and we would always do 1 through 5. And you got mad at me because I kept doing like the 0.25s.
Quarter.
So you're like, well, let's just do it out of 10 then. That way it works. And then I would
Made it
keep
way
doing
worse.
another one.
Yeah, it
Like
didn't
making
change
let's just
anything.
make it out of 100. That way, that makes it like even more confusing.
And then I would just make another random
No,
decimal
it's
point
either
on what it said.
recommend, light recommend.
I
or, like,
highly recommend this. I mean, obviously you've got to be into '80s type horror.
Yeah, I mean the movie's messed up, and it's fun.
Let's just do this. Recommend, highly recommend. Two
So
thumbs up for me.
2 thumbs up.
highly likely
Two
recommend.
thumbs up, way up.
2
This
thumbs
guy's
up all the way.
butt.
I'll give it
Yeah,
a,
all the way up, and then you can pull my head. and pull
Shunting
me out.
time.
I'll give it highly likely recommend. Then
Golden.
I am highly likely to recommend this movie.
I'm highly likely to stick these 2
I'm just-
thumbs right in your eyeballs.
I'm just gonna be like not allowed to rate anything soon. 'Cause,
Right in your eyeballs.
like, Golden's not allowed to
You got
rate
an eye
anything.
thing. You won't have to worry about it no more. You ain't gonna be seeing nothing.
Oh
I
yeah,
would
there's
confess
lots of
these
eye
2
stuff in
thumbs.
there. Someone just reaches in and pulls out an eyeball and eats it.
It was definitely I thing.
But it's like not realistic. It's like crazy, insane looking horror. It's just body horror to like the nth degree.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Another movie where we watched a blob.
Yep.
Eat
But it was a-
people?
But
I'm
it
not
was
really
a
sure.
sexy
They
blob.
were like humping
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah,
whatever.
this movie,
just
another
orgy.
way horny movie.
It was.
Also, no explanation for the opening sequence, the credit sequence, because he's in that pile of bodies.
Yeah, you're right.
He's like making out with his sister or whatever.
I think that was no, it
She
was
got
a
stuck
dream.
in the dryer.
It was a dream he was having because he wakes up and he's
that's
like,
right. Yeah.
yeah, there was a dream he was having.
Tentacle horror wake up.
And you're not
Ah,
sure, like,
the-
are they like making
Oh.
him think that stuff?
This is a good point. I almost forgot the part where they're first running for student council president, and you have Billy and Milo on stage, and then he gets distracted because the girl opens her legs and you can see her underwear.
She does.
I was like, Golden's gonna make a reference to that was him in high school, but it didn't happen.
What? Oh, you know, showing my panties to people to distract them?
No, yeah, throwing your panties like
I'm like, stop.
these are my golden undies.
What up? You like them
That's
tiny
because they have so many
whities?
pee stains on them.
Dude, that's all pea stain.
Just
pea
just
stains
pea
and undies.
stains, no streaks.
My tidy yellows.
Tidy yellows.
Yeah, Golden isn't his
polka
real
dotted-
name. It's,
your polka
it's
dotted
like
yellows.
Mr. Sir. We just call him Golden because
It's
of
Golden
his
'cause my
yellow
yellow
underwear.
Yeah.
That adds up. The math checks
His
out.
parents gave him a different name, but once he got to the age where he could wear underwear, he just
My
kept
God.
peeing them all the time. So they changed it to Golden.
That's it. That's all I did. Just peed. I mean, why go to the bathroom when you
All
just
right.
do it right there and be warm?
All right. Well, for Horror Dark, I'm Mr. Sir.
I'm Anthony.
I'm golden.
All right, and we're going to
you
be
sure?
watching Scream 6 next.
We're gonna watch it.
Bye.
I swear the next episode won't be like this because I did take it out.
Did you?
Yeah.